so we're doing a functions gig, a Shania Twain tribute, and I just wanted to show you the kind of gear that I take for a gig. This is the morning of the gig and I'm about to pack my bags. So in here, this is my classic S style Strat. It goes in the gig bag. And in this top case here, I have in-ears, okay? I use the Linsol KZS10, sorry, ZS10 Pros. Yeah, they're really good. The custom, I bought some other lead for it because the plastic ones aren't that great that come with it. Now this is cool, I've just bought this recently. This is the NUX, what is it? The B7 PSM. In-ear monitoring wireless, transmitter and receiver, so I can, clip this onto my belt, have my in-ears come out, and this end goes in the aviom or the receiver, and then I can hear the tracks in my ears when I'm doing in-ear monitoring on stage. So that's that. In here, well, actually, in the bottom of this bag, I have spare strings. I've got some Ernie balls here. I've got a lot of 11 gauge, 10 gauge, a lot of like high E strings, the ones that snap the most. These ones are, there's 2 full packs. Actually, there's 2 full packs here, plus another full pack of elixirs here. So plenty of spare strings, which is essential in case you snap strings on stage. This is a multi-tool kit thing. It's got like screwdrivers and Allen keys and things, and it's for guitar. You can also cut the strings. So this is called like a JP guitar toolkit thing. So that lives in the bottom of the bag too. Then I've got 2 D'Addario cables. I only plan on using 1, but I carry 2 in this guitar bag. Plus, this might be a bit overkill, but I have 2 more spare ones. This is a material bag. I carry lots of, things and cables and extra gadgets and things in. I used to carry like a plastic bag, like a Sainsbury's bag, and it was just terrible. So this is great. My dad gave me this. This is Northern Soul bag. It's awesome. So spare cables. I have an SM57 microphone, just in case, if I need it or whatever. This is an iPad page turner, Legato, so I can turn my iPad, so I can turn the pages on my iPad without, with my feet, without having to click my hands. And I've got, these are like iPad clip-on things. Clip my iPad onto a mic stand so that I can read my iPad while I'm playing. And this is my iPad. You know what an iPad looks like. But inside I've got all my charts and things on 4score for the set list. And finally in here, I've got my pedal board. Been using the Helix now for some years, maybe like 7 years or so. Oh, I'm really bad at this, okay, but yeah. This is the Helix. This has all my tones in for my guitar, my effects, my tones, everything, yeah. So I put that on stage, I plug into it, usually plug an XLR cable out to the front of house so they can, they can pump my sounds out to the PA speakers. If not, I can also set it up to work with an amplifier. So I think there's going to be some amps at this venue. So I've set up a patch on my Helix. It kind of acts as like an effects loop. So I use the sounds and the tones from the amplifier on stage, and then I just run my Helix with my effects on. So I've got an extra drive on there, delay, reverb, maybe a chorus, that kind of stuff. So basically I'm just kind of using the sounds of the amp, but using the effects of my pedal board. Lastly, I did say that I would plug a XLR out of my pedal board to the front of house, so that's what this is. This is a Roland XLR cable. Okay, great. One last thing I forgot to mention is I'm actually going to take a guitar stand for on stage, so that I can place my guitar on stage before I go on, and pop it down afterwards, and just makes it look all professional on stage. Okay, so in here we've got my gig bag, my helix, my guitar stand, some shoes. Let's have a look, what else? Oh, apparently we're staying in this like caravan thing or something in this holiday park when we're playing, so I've bought a pillow, and down there is a sleeping bag. The guy told me to potentially, you know, bring that because it could potentially, the beds could be quite dirty and stuff, because lots of actors, musicians and stuff stay there. In here I've got my shirt, which I've just ironed actually, so I'm sort of hanging it up on my headrest. Oh, and behind that are some waistcoats that I might potentially wear, but the dress code is kind of black, so you know, it's just an option to have that. In this bag I've just got, because I'm staying overnight, a little overnight stay bag, some cheese. I'll tell you a little story about the cheese in a second, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so we're driving to Cornwall for the gig now. It's about an hour and a half away. I've set off half an hour early. You know, Dave, the bass player, has told me that, you know, we have sound check at 4, and I can arrive sort of from 3-ish. So I've actually set my maps to get me there for 2:30, because I don't want to rush around. I don't really like rushing around. For gigs, it causes stress and it causes, you know, mistakes, all that kind of stuff. So I was never always like this, but I've learned many hard lessons in the past. So I always try and make sure I'm at least half an hour early for, you know, arrival and stuff, just to give me that kind of buffer to relax. But while I'm driving there, I may as well tell you how this gig came about. So basically, this gig came through on a subscription WhatsApp service called Dep's app. Now, this is really interesting for musicians in the UK. Obviously, I'm from the UK, and this is a UK musicians sort of Dep service subscription thing. What it is, it's a WhatsApp service, and you can sign up to it, and you pay. I think you can join via Patreon or sort of via their own Dep's app's website. And you pay kind of like £4, £5, £6. I can't exactly remember how much it is, but it's roughly around that figure a month. And there are multiple groups in this. Now, you would obviously, as a musician, you play pretty much one instrument, or you might play 2, but basically I joined the Guitar Jobs chat. So basically, like, then guitar jobs would come through. Now, what kind of guitar jobs come through? Well, to be a Dep musician is someone who steps in, if anyone doesn't know. For a Dep musician is anyone who steps in for a regular guitarist for the band. So for instance, the Shania Twain tribute, they already have a guitarist, but for whatever reason, I don't actually know, he can't play this gig. So I'm therefore depping, I'm deputizing for him. Now, this gig came through to my phone, because you sign up for it on WhatsApp, and you know, there's multiple free groups on Facebook, you know, like Dep musicians in the UK is one, and I'm pretty sure like the same jobs come up on there, but what it is you have to go find those gigs on Facebook. Well, this subscription on Dep's app basically takes all of that legwork out of it for you, and it just sends it straight to your phone, right, just like a WhatsApp message. So you know, they ping them through, you have a look at the details of the gig, what it is, where it is, how much it pays, and a contact link. And if it suits you, if you're in the area, if you're free, if that fee meets your satisfaction, then you can reach out to the job link that's on that gig that's been linked for you, reach out to them and send some like promo review, a little write-up, just make it, and a little tip for musicians, don't bombard with tons of information, just try and keep it concise to one message if you can. who you are, what you do, a promo, if you've got like a promo video of you playing live, you know, because this is for like live performance, so like you've got like a little montage of like gigs that you've done, send that through. Say that you drive, if you drive. Say that you use professional gear, say that you use IEMs and you can play to click, you can read music, all that kind of stuff. Anything that makes you qualified for this gig, say that, and don't say much else really. You don't need to waffle on about where you've been on your travels with music, or, you know, how many gigs you've done in the last year. They don't care, they just want to know the basic stuff for you to be able to do the gig well. So yeah, that's how the gig came about. I wrote back to this Shania Twain gig because I was available, and it was down in Cornwall, and my family live in Devon, so I thought I could make a trip of it because I'm usually in London. So yeah, I left my number, and then one night this guy called me up and said, "Hey Jack, we like what you sent, can you do the gig down in Cornwall?" And I said, "Yeah, let's do it. I love Shania Twain." And we had a little chat on the phone. He was like, "Do you know any Shania Twain?" I was like, "I know a little bit. I've played on cruise ships. I've done lots of, you know, all the big hits, that kind of stuff. And I use this gear. I was actually busy at the time, so I was like, look, I would love to chat more because we can just talk all about gear or whatever. But I have, you know, I was a little bit busy at the time. But yeah, that's how the gig came about. Since then, I've been practicing the set lists, because then after that chat on the phone, he sent the set list through. It's an hour and a half show, which is quite a long show. 1 second, I need to go south here. It's quite a long show, so, you know, there's like 20-ish songs, which is quite a lot to learn actually, because, you know, with the Shania Twain, there's some great guitar parts, there's a lot of country, a lot of rock, lots of guitar solos, guitar intros, things to focus on when you're learning a set list for guitar. The solos, well, obviously everything, you need to know the song, right? So you need to get the song structure down, the form of the song. Heavily focus on intros. So if there's songs that start with guitar, you need to know like the click, like how it comes in. You know, is it 1 bar of click and then guitar in, or 2 bars of click? And so that's another thing. You know, is the show that you're doing, is it to click, or is it not on? Is it not on click? If it's on click, you need to ask the contact for the gig if you've got those like audio files, so you can listen to them, listen to the click, listen. Oh, okay, this is where I come in. Sorry, the sun is like beaming around my face right now. Click comes in, and then you know exactly where you're coming in. Focus on the form, making sure the charts that you've got are correct to the songs. Like you know, make sure they're not like extended versions of songs or radio edits or different sort of like mix. I think like at first I was practicing "I'm Gonna Get You Good" by Shania Twain, and I was practicing at first. I looked it up on YouTube, and there's like 2 versions. There's like a radio pop version, and like I guess the original sort of country, more kind of like organically country bandy. How do I describe it? It's not electro. It's not like a pop mix so much. It's more like, you know, a band playing it, like a country band playing it. So the form of those 2 songs are different. The form of the 2 versions of those songs are different. So, you know, I made sure that he sent me everything he can. Just get him to send you everything he can, all the clicks, the cues, you know, intro, you know, what the backing tracks are doing, so that as well, you play along not just to the song on Spotify or YouTube, but like you play along to the like the backing tracks that they've got. Then you can hear what the sweeteners are doing. You can kind of like tailor your parts to the backing tracks, because at the end of the day, that's what you're going to be playing to on the gig. So yeah, so I spent, you know, a good week and a half, you know, going through the set list more or less every day. Spare like, you know, a few hours here and there where I could. Obviously I live in London and I was doing other things, like I have another job, and I was, you know, I live my life in London. Like I do other gigs, and I go to the gym quite a bit. I see friends. I work on my website. I work on my content, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, spare hours I would sit with the guitar, with the tracks, with the charts, and I would go through the set list. And now I got it to a place where I feel like, you know, I'm pretty happy with it, pretty comfortable with all the songs. 20 songs was quite a lot to get through, but yeah, pretty happy. I had a few questions for Dave, the bass player, about some intros and some solos and things like that, so I just pinged them across to email. Then he gave me his number, we started texting, so it was a bit more casual. So yeah, that's pretty much how the gig came about. That's pretty much what I've been doing to prep for it. And I will continue videoing the setup when we get to the stage. So I actually got quite lucky with the back line for this gig. There's quite a few amps on option to use for me. They've got this Mesa Boogie Express 550, I think it's called. They got Boss Katana, both very solid amps. I think that's a bass amp, that PV. This is an orange bass head for the bass player, Hartke bass. But here's another couple, Hartke, what's that, GT60. And this one, which the sound guys just told me about, the Matchless Lightning Reverb, is apparently like really good and like worth a lot of money. But if you want to Google how much it is, apparently it's like, you know, $5,000 worth of boutique sort of vintage AC30 style amp. So probably going to use this one tonight. Right, so we're actually playing on we're playing at Holiday Park tonight. So obviously they've got like the entertainment part of the holiday park at the top, and this is interesting. This has not happened to me before, but the sound guy has given me his keys to our very own static home caravan for the night, because we are stopping over. So let's go take a little look at what we got. All right, not too shabby. Kitchen area, just close that for a second. It's my car. By the way, lovely sea views, Cornwall. Okay. I can't believe I'm doing a little house tour right now. I didn't expect to do this, but this is also obviously our living area. Kitchen, we've got full appliances here. Oh, okay, shower, bath, toilet, 2 beds there, and 1 bed in here. Oh, and another little bed, or 2 beds in here. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can fit 5 people in here. Interesting, cool. Let's have a look at that view again. South Cornwall. It's a beautiful day. Oh yeah, so funny story about the cheese. The band guys told me that after the show they have cheese, I guess maybe with some wine to celebrate or something. I don't know, but he told me to bring some. So I bought some Pilgrim's Choice extra mature cheddar, which I'm going to put in the fridge for later. And I'm going to see what that's all about. So stay tuned. These are the kind of snacks you get sort of backstage at Holiday Park, right? So you've got jammy dodgers, jammy wheels, cookies, crisps, fruit juice and water. Right, Helix is set up on stage. Got the guitar here and I'll plug into the mattress. Just tried it out. This thing sounds absolutely beautiful. Apparently they don't make these anymore. They started making them in like the 2000s, but it sounds absolutely mint. I'm going to run through this one tonight. The rest of the band have just got here. It's loading up. But yeah, let's all get set up and sound checked and ready to go.
Little tiny bit more if I can.
driving home from the campsite, from the gig. We stayed over last night in the caravan. How'd the gig go? Gig went pretty good. The guys in the band were great, and the crowd were great. We were on second, so you know, we kind of like had the first band not warm us up, but you know, they were on before us and sort of warmed the crowd up, and then by the time we got on, they were like ready to go, ready to sing and ready to dance. And yeah, all went pretty good. The songs went relatively well for me. I think, you know, I prepped pretty good. We ended up having to cut the set short by like half an hour, so we cut quite a lot of songs, which is, you know, a little bit slightly frustrating for me, because I spent a lot of time working on those songs. But you know, at the same time, it's better to be over prepared, and you know, it's better to have those songs in the locker just if we needed them. That's kind of the thing with depping, you know, you never know, you might get like a full set list and they might end up cutting a few, so you're just gonna have to take that as it is. But yeah, you know, it went well. There was a few things in some of the charts that I sort of missed. Well, when you're being on stage, you think you're prepared when you're learning these songs with the charts in the room, with the tracks and stuff, but then when it comes to on stage, sometimes it can be different. You know, you can't hear very well, or like there's some kind of like issue with sound thing going on here. By the way, we had 2 power cuts throughout our set last night. Literally within the first song, power went off everywhere, and apparently this happened all across the local town of Lou, where we were. So that went off, and then it happened again halfway through the set, and it was kind of like, wow, this is a bit of a joke now. If this happens anymore, you know, it's getting kind of dangerous for our electrical equipment that could, like, you know, surge, send a power surge back through it. So I'd always make sure to turn my pedal board off right after the power cut, because if you leave it on and then the power comes back on, it sends a surge right up through your electrical equipment. This goes for like keyboards, anything electrical. Then it could blow the chips in your pedal board and your electrical equipment, which sucks. It's happened to me before. So yeah, learned the hard way. So that happened. But yeah, no, it was good. It was good. I like the guys, you know, the band, they're cool, and hopefully they'll ask me back at some point next year, do some more gigs with them up and down the country, potentially abroad. They told me about a gig they did in Dubai, actually, which sounds fun. So yeah, and of course we stayed in the caravan last night, and we had wine and cheese, lots of cheese, lots and lots of cheese. I didn't even open my cheese because everyone bought better cheese than me. But yeah, so we had that. We had like talking all night. We stayed up till about almost 2 a.m. Just chatting away about music mostly, about AI, about the state of the world that we're in, but also funny, happy things too. But anyway, I digress about that. What to learn about this gig and prepping for a gig. You know, I prepped well with the songs, I prepped well with the charts, I prepped well with all my equipment.
At the next traffic,
Everything, you know, I needed, I brought to the gig. I didn't forget anything. I was prepared, and that what goes a long way. You know, I arrived early at the set, and the band would have noticed that. It didn't matter because, like, we didn't get to sound check hardly at all, actually, and we also sound checked late. So, you know, it was down to everyone else being not prepared in a way. But it's better that you're prepared as a musician, as a gigging musician, a session player, as a Dep musician. If you can show that you're
at the roundabout,
you're prepared, then you get asked back, and you're a nice guy. You've got to be a nice guy too. So, like, you know, hanging out with the band afterwards and stuff, all that stuff is great. So yeah, this is a solid gig. Driving home now because I'm going go-karting with my cousins, and it's like one of my family members.
stay in the right lane.
Back now. The weather's really, really bad here. It's funny because it was so.
In a quarter mile, at the roundabout, take the second exit towards Bodmin.
But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. as always, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification.
At the roundabout, take the second exit towards Bodmin.
This video on what to prep for the Dep gig, what to take to a gig, all about getting a gig and preparation and the actual gig itself. So yeah, stay tuned for the next video. Cheers.